This channel is to help you improve your relationships, your marriage, your friendship, your family relations, your professional relationships, and even your spiritual relationships. This is very important because as individuals, we don't recognize or realize how much our past impacts us. We don't realize how much the things we've gone through in the past comes against our present and prevents us from really living our life the way we need to live it, walking in alignment, following and pursuing our purpose. It's because of everything we've been through in the past. As a trauma-informed coach, trauma-informed because I was trained over 15 years in trauma work, and I'm also a nationally certified domestic violence advocate. I am able to advocate for people that are going through horrible situations. I've helped hundreds of families and individuals go through whether the court system or go through the process of safety, of securing safety, housing, all of that. Okay, so that's just a little bit about my background. But I want you to begin to look at your past. Not everyone gets to address their past the way they should. It's very important to begin to address your past. It's very important to begin to address your past. Because the more you address your past, the more you're able to deal with the things that you're facing today. When you recognize the issues that are plaguing you from before, now you're able to work on the relationships that are on the rocks today in your current life. Everything you feel, like your self-love, your fears, your trust, the way you trust people, and there are those that don't trust anybody at all, your ability to be vulnerable, to rely on others. Some have been taught to be self-sufficient their whole life, and so they can't trust anybody to do anything right for them. It can hurt your relationship if you're that person who isn't vulnerable, who is not able to just trust that somebody else can help them. You'll be that person that refuses help even when you need help, because you're trying to be almighty. You're trying to be like a superwoman, meanwhile, or a superman. Meanwhile, there are people that are in your life that can help you. They can. You have to be willing to fall. You have to be willing to be vulnerable enough to trust another individual. All right. All these things that you go through is because of what you went through before. Your lack of trust is because of your past. Self-love. How much do you love yourself? How much do you recognize that God created me and I'm important and I'm worthy because he created me, not because of what I have or who I know or what I possess or what I can do? Does that make sense? That my worth is independent of anything external of me. My worth is divine, and that's that. All right. Conflict resolution skills. Many of us have cut off people in our lives. Many of us have dealt with people a certain way because we don't know how to resolve conflicts. Now, there are situations where you're safer walking away, because I talked about this in my other video when I talked about trying to explain yourself to people. You don't need to explain yourself to anybody. Okay? Some situations you can't get into it because whether you do or don't, you're going to be wrong. But conflict resolution skills are important. They're necessary to know how to address issues that occur in your relationship, every relationship for that matter. Many don't know how to resolve issues with their family. When it comes to their siblings, when it comes to their parents, there's this heaviness or there's this like tension between them and a family member. And because it's not addressed, they can easily transfer it to another relationship. And the one relationship that suffers the most is the relationship with your children and the relationship with your spouse, because these are the people that you're with all the time, and they end up paying for your past. They end up paying for what somebody else did to you. And that's not fair. That's not right. So we want to be able to heal. So this video is about letting you acknowledge and go back and assess what in your past is now hurting you today. Even your ability to forgive is connected to your past. How? Because I can't trust anybody. You let go, people will do it again. You let go, people will do it again. Well, yeah. You're supposed to forgive 7 times 70, right? 70 times 7. And so it's a lot. It's a lot. Releasing people, letting people go. But the concept of that, when Jesus said that to his disciples, he was just saying, listen, forgive the people before they even sin, because they're going to sin against you. Like, they're going to do things against you. And so it's very important to recognize those things that are impacting your relationship. Many live in denial. They're never the problem. They didn't do anything. It's always another person. Listen, it's a tough pill to swallow. But when you come to the point where you say, I am the problem, I have been the problem, or I can see why what I said or what I did caused my relationship to drift. Imagine if couples began to see the things that they did wrong. We wouldn't have issues in marriages at all. Because when you see the issue, you fix it. When you see the issue, you handle it. So you want to be that person who sees an issue and addresses the issue. You don't want to be this person who sees it and denies and is always right, is self-righteous. It thinks that they can't do wrong by anyone. That is not true. You want to be the person who acknowledges, who is real, who is true, and who begins to operate in a way to change their lives. So that's the point of this video. I hope it helped you to become self-conscious, not in a negative way, but aware and alert, so that you can develop emotional intelligence and learn how to navigate your relationships. All right. Go ahead and subscribe and share this video. I please ask you to share the video so that others can benefit.